Thank you for joining us to celebrate our Issue 3 consumption contributors. Because of the pandemic, we weren't able to arrange an in-person release party for them, but think that this video makes an excellent substitute. We hope you enjoy the following readings from just a few of our very talented contributors.
Hi, I am going to be reading my poem Walking with the Crowd from Consumption, Issue 3 from Tiny Spoon. My name is James Steck, and welcome to my tiny little apartment in DC. Walking with the Crowd. The concrete aromatic congregation of feet and rubber, urine and feces and dirt and weed stretches crumbling into the river with plastic blood, and it's perfect. The city is liquid pink and damp, opaque and blue in windows too. The streets are glazed in cortisol. Hear the ache of the city, dripping in a sauna, through vague humidity, hidden or crouched, hunched and afraid. The romance in bricks holds us along each street. We eat oceans and drink in celebration. And that's it. See ya.
Hi there, my name is Erica Plouffe Lazure, and I'll be reading How I Became an Actress. One year for my birthday, Dad took the yellow painted birdhouse off the branch outside our house, sliced off the backside, and called it a dollhouse. He wrapped it in the funny papers we usually saved for kindling and wished me a happy birthday. My dolls, leggy, slow-eyed Barbies, were mostly too tall to stand in the one-room house, but they sat naked or in preposterous plastic heels and gauze dresses, drinking from imaginary teacups and complimenting the host on her moon-shaped window, careful not to get leftover bird poop stuck in their billowing hair. A few days later, when he came home from work, Dad took an empty tin of sardines and, with his pocket knife, crafted it into a tiny, shaky table and placed it inside the dollhouse. I discovered a Barbie could fit through the moon window, and for a while the house was a spaceship, the tin table the control station. Then Dad cut two pink gauzy rectangles from one of Mom's old dresses, stapled one edge over a soda straw, curtain style, and tacked the straw to the open side of the birdhouse, a theater. The dollhouse was now home to princesses and witches, runaways and motherless orphans, their stories unfolding as the gauze curtains parted, taking us to Frog Hollow, to Atlantis, to Neverland. And thank you to the editors of Tiny Spoon and the Consumption issue. It's a wonderful collection of stories and artwork and poetry. So thank you so much.
Patriarchy tonic. Pathological, the female remedy. Numb that hysteria with this baby, this man, this white man baby. It tones the blood. Eat all the little white men.
This is Liza Sparks reading Personal Recipe as it appeared in the Issue 3, Fall 2019 of Tiny Spoon Consumption. Personal Recipe. 2 parts religious trauma, 1 part cult. Footnote, are Jehovah's Witnesses a cult? 1 part Christian fundamentalist. Footnote, my father believes I will burn for all eternity. Scald in boiling water, remove and submerge completely in iced water. In another pot, dilute all parts with any white liquid, milk, cream, Eurocentricity, etc. Footnote, the town where I grew up in is 88.2% white. I am of the 3.7% of 2 or more races. Cook on medium heat for 18 years. Strain the liquid through a cheesecloth of shame. These can be purchased where dieting books and weight loss supplements are sold. Marry the strained liquid with the blanched religious trauma and freeze. Footnote: freeze is a trauma response. On high heat, fry all the eggs you can find: ostrich, chicken, quail, etc. Footnote: these are symbolic of life, growth, etc. Pour all the eggs into a bread pan. Optional. Add flour, water, sugar, salt, and yeast. Put it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Watch carefully. Make sure it doesn't turn into a baby. You can prevent this by constantly simmering blood on low heat and adding birth control pills. You will need the flesh of any bruised fruit. Footnote: I am a survivor of domestic violence. Take out all of the knives. Be very careful not to cut your fingers off. Cut all of the onions yellow, shallot, chives, etc. until you cry, enough to fill 3 pint glasses. Put the frozen liquid from step 2 in a large bowl or tub. Pour the warm tears over the liquid. When it starts to melt, add the onions. Serve to all your lovers in a martini glass with a sexy garnish: cherry, strawberry, olive, etc. Ask them to love you. Take a sip when you are depressed and anxious. It will exasperate symptoms. Call your mom. Bury the egg cake in your garden. Optional. Fold in pages of journals with recorded dreams, names of people you love and people who love you, a candle to keep it warm. Sing to the egg cake when you feel lonely. Water the egg cake 3 times daily with affirmations. Increase to 10 times daily during the winter and times of tragedy. A flower should emerge out of the ground. Make sure you say, "You are beautiful." Footnote: you are more than trauma, shame, bruised fruit. Immediately, or it will wilt. Harvest the seeds. Roast them in the oven with a little salt. Deshell them in your mouth while writing a poem. Possibly this poem. Footnote: when will you finally be done suffering? Press the seeds into an anointing oil grown from dreams, love, and warmth. Pour it over your head. Footnote: you are holy, sacred. Use as massage oil. Knead your shoulders. Footnote: your body requires care, love, attention. Make a butter out of the seeds. Spread it on toast. Footnote: your body requires nourishment, pleasure, joy.
Julius Caesar is standing jauntily by the sink, gutting fish for his favorite garum sauce. 23 fish is the optimal amount for the preparation of this sauce, which can accompany anything: meat, salads, snacks, tedious lovers, clingy friends, insignificant enemies, but above all, it assists the dissolution of indigestible doubts. When a nagging suspicion won't let you sleep, eat, think of anything else, or even breathe, an otherwise unnecessary suspicion that nevertheless extends its cunning tentacles to strangle your brain, then the garum eases the swallowing and digestion of such thoughts. It also offers relief from the persistent feeling of heartburn that usually follows any attempt at digesting those thoughts in order to achieve some peace of mind. For his beloved garum, Caesar extracts the guts from 23 different types of small fish, such as smelt, anchovies, sprat, and tuna, all of which he eviscerates with artistry and then drops in a small basin in his sink. "Et tu, brute!" he shouts triumphantly with each stab.
My smartphone is a radical polysemist by Hibah Shabkhez. It creates semantic gaps where none exist in my language. When I type sun, it gives me a many-cornered slice suffused with soft orange, peeping out from behind a spaceship cloud clump. In this demure rainwater shroud, I watch with baffled unrecognition. The skin-searing scourge of our plain summers suddenly becomes sweet and saint-like. And yet, for soleil, a mellower sound bound to grey ink skies, it gives me a glowing gold circle with 8 orange triangles around it, being wick and vital like a picture from a fun with shapes book. Which one of them would be Suraj if it were an Urdu phone too? Or perhaps that would be a different kind of light hate bringer altogether. It creates new meanings which strain life into my words. Thus, moon and lune are both little yellow crescents snuck into the rightmost edges of grey circles, instead of hovering luminous balloons full of fluttery sleeved people, wonderland cat grins, or buttered crescents with sleepy smiles. Fish and poisson are improbably bright red, blue, green, limp oval sacks with warging eyes, all stuck in a column upon a stick, not gracefully slithering mad creatures with water glistening on tails lovely even in death. Chand and Machli quietly absorb these new signifier too, uninvited and unheeded. It creates new meshes which drain life out of my words. House and maison are identical third little pig cottages with long red chimneys, and my clumsily balconied flat roofed ghar is knocked right out of the picture. Here, butterfly and papillon are both the same bronze winged creatures, nowise kin to the rainbow tittlies we made by painting one half of the page and pressing it onto the other until the echo of its colors blossoms into the second wing. As I blink at the unexpected nuage around the sun, I wonder, does it also know the difference between cheese and paneer and fromage then? The one I've never managed to explain to anyone? Or will it simply make up its own fresh valeur for each and drown my fledgling polysemy in them?
Take 47. Hi, my name's Roger Hecht. I'm going to read to you a poem from the current issue, issue 3 of Tiny Spoon. The poem is called Liza Says, and this poem is part of a series of poems I've been writing called Liner Notes. They are all found poems, and the original text of the poems are the liner notes of old record albums. In this age of Spotify, you don't see this too often, but old LPs used to have quite a bit of text on them. It could be anything from a brief advertisement for the record, or a very elaborate piece of criticism by a music critic exploring the nature of the album and the contributions of the various musicians that are participating in the album. This particular text is from the album VU by the Velvet Underground. I should also say that the poem is an acrostic. So the title of the album, as well as the name of the band, is also built into the structure of the poem. So it adds another facet to the puzzle that each of these poems creates. So this is Liza Says. Vita, it's my life, upended, wielded, decided. Venus, the ice goddess, exploding from abstractions lost to sadomasochism, still valued the delicate and surprising exposure, the irresistible moral. Tomorrow was a booze-doomed urban paean, a luminous jewel, a nascent squall, anything to assemble a crazed dream summit, a polyglot survey of the exploding landscape. Briefly, rock and roll, long forgotten, set free a gift supreme, hypnotic, smack-filled hook. Radio on the eve of nowhere, strange and frightening, unbelievable God of what was long gone. No one knew to buy such stuff. Dear listener, the pleasure is yours. Thanks for listening.